do people even really remember those Amazon days, where they had the tabs at the top, and we were all on our Blueberry iMacs, our little 10-inch Blueberry
Right.
iMac. And like, that's how we looked at Amazon. It was like so strange,
Well, you could argue that that was the first real unlocking of the power of the internet.
We're back, Rob, episode 154.
Scratching my nose.
I know. Well, I know you're distracting from what's happening over on the other side of the face, by scratching the nose. So,
You mean this?
yeah, I mean, what?
Oh, I thought we're not all still wearing bandages because Trump got shot.
Oh my Lord. Okay. Yeah.
I thought we were doing. We're done with that. We're not.
I have full faith that your ear will miraculously look just as well as everybody else's. Then it's going to be good.
I tried to get my wife to reenact the photo.
Oh,
and I was going like, and I did like this, but it's not as dramatic with the bandage versus the blood on the face and the stuff.
No,
like
that's
that.
funny. That's funny. All right.
No, I had a basal cell carcinoma removed from the back.
Wow. We're getting personal. Are we allowed to say this because of HIPAA? What's happening?
Well, we just did. So HIPAA knows where to find us.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
All right.
So my PSA for today is sunscreen, kids. Use your sunscreen.
Okay. Yeah, the ear is a often overlooked sunscreen application, right? I mean, you think about your nose, you think about your forehead, you know what I mean? But like, you got to hit those ears, everybody.
I mean, us baldies hit the head really good.
Oh, man.
We get the neck, we get the shoulders. But the top of the ear or the back.
I'm a shade dweller. I mean, I just run from umbrella to umbrella. I'm fine with the reflective quality of the light. You know, like I don't gone are the days of laying out in baby oil and bosom buddies reflectors. There's a dated reference. No one who ever sees this is even going to know. Yeah, but that was.
I'll tell you this:
bosom buddies, dude. That was the beginning. That was the opening scene. Tom Hanks and the other guy.
No more naked sunbathing for me. Slathered in baby oil. That's going to be my resolution. One of them.
Here's where I always get sunburned, even though I apply all the time. Okay. I always put it on the ears, which I'm generally good with. Tops of feet. It's the top of your foot because you put it on and then the sand rubs it off or the this or the that. You know what I mean? And then if anybody has burned the top of their feet, they know that that shower the day after where the water is just pelting.
No good.
Brutal.
It's no good.
But I'm telling you, man, I will put sunscreen on the top of my, like all, the shins and all that stuff. And it just gets wiped off if something happens, so.
Well, I told you my worst sunburn ever story. It's a quick.
I don't know. Remind me.
I was on an outward bound trip.
Okay.
I'm out in the Rocky Mountains out in Colorado.
Okay.
And this was summer of 94.
Okay. In the summer. Okay. Lovely.
Yeah. Alpine mountaineering trip, outward bound. It was great.
Okay.
And
awesome.
For a month. And as part of it, we did a 3-day solo.
Okay.
Where they drop you off, but you're by yourself and you got 3 days to commune with nature. And
okay. Now, after 3 days, do you have to extract yourself to a point or do they come and get you?
They come and get you.
Okay. So for 3 days, you stay within a certain confined area?
March as a group and they go, okay, your spot's here. And then they walk a mile away I think the closest person was like a mile or something.
Okay. Got it.
You're not going to see them. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And so they dropped me off on the solo. And mind you, I'm up at 11,000 feet, 10,000 feet out in the North San Juan range of the Rockies.
Okay.
And the first thing I did the very next morning, my sleeping bag was black. Okay. And I unfolded it. I laid it out on the ground, not in a tent or anything, just out in this pasture where I was. And I stripped off all my clothes. I went completely naked.
Yeah. Mountain man.
I'm going to be one with naked and not afraid.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm doing it. And so I did. I laid out and I fell asleep.
Oh.
On a black sleeping bag.
At 12,000 feet.
12,000 feet in the middle of the summer.
Yeah.
And I woke up and was like, Oh, no. And I didn't have
Ro
I don't think I had any
Yeah,
sunscreen
yeah,
to
yeah.
apply at the time. I probably did
Dude,
in my bag, but
SPF
anyway
50 didn't exist back then? I mean
anyway, it was the worst. It was bad. That might have been where this happened. I mean, it could
Okay.
have been that long ago.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
I just remember, I mean, the packs we were carrying were like 50 pounds or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
And I remember when they came to pick me up, having to put the pack on my back,
Oh, on the
on
shoulders
the
and everything.
shoulders, like, and then
Oh,
everyone's just, I mean,
yeah.
it was laughter all around.
Oh, boy.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that's my funny anecdote, but sunscreen, kids,
Well,
sunscreen.
I don't know how we pivot from 154, sunscreen and, mountain man behavior to today's topic. How do we do that? How do we we're just gonna do it. We're gonna give
It's
it a hard left.
hard left. What is
Hard
today's
left.
topic, John? Tell us.
Today's topic is going to be brands that have evolved, right? Or and by brands I mean companies, but the brand evolves with the company as they do different product offerings and things like
Okay.
that, right? And the reason why this came to pass is I'm in the market for a new couch. I need a
Okay.
new couch. Okay.
Yep.
Time for a new piece of furniture, right? Snooping around. We've got the usual cast of characters. We've got our West Elms and our Crate and Barrels and all the different
Sure.
Wayfairs and all the online stuff and whatever like that, right? But we've got a pal who absolutely lives the LoveSac brand.
Okay.
Okay.
He's an ambassador.
The ambassador for LoveSac. Did you gotta get the LoveSac? And I'm like,
Okay.
what are you talking about, dude? Like LoveSac, like the expensive beanbag, right? I mean,
Weren't they on
LoveSac.
Shark Tank? Was that a Shark Tank thing?
I have no idea. I
I
I I
think
just
they may have been a
remember
Shark Tank
years
thing.
ago
Yeah.
when LoveSac came out, it was like, "Oh, it's the college dorm grown-up experience of, like" it's like a $300 beanbag or whatever
Yeah.
it was,
It's
but
like the
everyone's like,
nice
"Oh,
beanbag. Yeah.
oh, it's the greatest beanbag," and I'm like, "No, I'm not," but in the cycle of my life that didn't line up with where I was, like, no one's
Sure.
going to look at and get, like, beanbags or whatever like that, right? Anyway, mutual pal, like, "Hey, you gotta check it," so believe it or not, there is a Lovesac, showroom around, right? And was like, "You know what? Let's run over there and take a look," right? My wife, full blown, "Mm-mm, nah, what are you talking about," right?
You
I
mean
will say
before you
this,
went to the store? She
before
was
we went
like,
to the store before we
she
went to the
wouldn't.
store.
No, this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
crazy. Okay.
And, I'm gonna say Lovesac has grown up. I mean,
Good.
still kept the name and everything like that, but they have developed a very interesting product. Are we gonna get one? I have no idea.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say this is a commercial for Lovesac quite yet, but, furniture is expensive. You gotta pick and choose, and you gotta find the one that fits your space right and fits your vibe and where you are in your life, right? But it was like I was pleasantly surprised. They have a modular, sofa system, right?
Okay.
Where basically, like, you buy I'll call it the base, right? Everything's totally like it's like adult Legos. It's like, here's the base, you put the back on. Do you want an angled back? Do you want a straight back? Do you want a this?
Yeah.
Like, and then the way the couch cushions or the way the system works is, everything's call it on the 3 by 4 golden rule ratio, right? So you can rotate everything around based on however, whatever fits your space, right? So if you want a deeper couch, you can do
Yeah.
that. If you want a shorter couch,
Yeah.
you can do an L, you can do like all these different things, right?
They snap together. Is it like? Do they like?
Yeah, so, like, you take the, top cushion off, right? And then
Yeah.
then you have, like, the base and the base, and
Yeah.
then there's, like, a clip system
Okay. That
that
clips them
holds it
together.
together, right? So that when you sit down, it doesn't, like, scoot you
Yeah.
around or things like
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
They have the full-blown recliner thing. The, like,
What are they?
like the hidden recliner if people are into that, but it doesn't look like a recliner. It doesn't look like a lazy
Doesn't
boy
look
or
like your
anything.
traditional lazy boy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, I mean, they have a whole Harman Kardon? Is that way I'm saying that right?
Speakers.
They
That's the
have an
stuff.
entire speaker system that ties into your entertainment system inside the couch. So,
Meaning
like,
there's a.
it's inside, like, underneath where you sit. Like the rumble, like, you feel the music, and then it
Oh,
all
so it's
like
speakers. It's like a sub
yeah.
built into
Yeah,
the
it's like
couch.
subwoofers and speakers and stuff. Like, it's anyway,
Yeah.
point being, I'm giving a Lovesac commercial even though I just said I wasn't going to.
That's all
But
right.
it did kind of spur me on to today's topic, right? Which was, "Huh, I thought you guys were this, but
Yeah.
really you're now this," or,
Yeah.
or like sort of companies and or brands that really have grown up, right? You know what I mean? Like, to a certain extent, or just evolved and changed dramatically
Yeah.
from maybe what they founded as. Does that make
Started.
sense?
It's kind of the antithesis of the one of the other podcasts we did, which is brands that started off with a
Sure.
product and then
Never
grew,
changed.
staying true to that.
Yeah, yeah,
Benjamin,
yeah, the opposite of Tabasco. Right, didn't you say Tabasco's been the same for like 100 years?
Tabasco's a good one. They've been the
Yeah.
same. WD-40 was another good
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
WD-40 has a whole new campaign out, by the way. Since we
did our podcast?
did the podcast, I've noticed.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just noticing more now.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's because we talked about it, and so now I'm getting ads for it, which is probably the more likely scenario.
Yeah.
But anyway, LoveSac has I think they've got one in Linux. I think there's a
Yeah. I think they do.
I never, but I've been by it.
There's a the photographer that we've used in the past, Fair. He's the one who's like in love with the LoveSac couches.
Oh, he
was full blown like so excited, for the downstairs dwelling, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And I will say this, it is a heavy, it's in the contention set right now for, it feels like, oh, you're the little beanbag company that like grew up into like furniture company, if that makes any sense,
Somebody fact check us, but I think they started on Shark Tank.
Okay.
Or at least at some point we're on Shark Tank. Back with the beanbag. We have a giant beanbag in our basement.
Do you?
Yeah, but it's a ripoff. It's a ripoff. It's not a LoveSac one.
Is it the Kirkland brand? It's the Costco derivative?
Yeah, it's a knockoff, but it's a giant. It's one of those like, oh, you can fit like 3 people on this thing.
Oh my God, hilarious. Yeah, that's never been our jam. I mean, so. But anyway, I thought that was a good example of a brand that, like, it's surprising. You take another look at it, however many years later. Of course, the company has to exist for it to evolve. You know what I mean? It has to be able to pivot and things like that in the marketplace. But I, it made me think of some other companies that you wouldn't really think about. We all use today, but kind of forget what the origins might be, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
You have any companies on your side of the fence? Any thoughts? Initially?
One
you want me to jump in and go with one?
No, I've got one. One that most everybody knows, but started off as one thing and is now kind of grown. That comes to mind is, and they have a very, 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 very brand loyal audience. And that is Yeti coolers. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So Yeti started off, and if you don't know this, you've been living under a rock, whoever's listening. But Yeti obviously started off as they were kind of the first ones to introduce the high-end cooler, right, to the market. And it was, before that, it was like, oh, we've got our dad's Coleman or our Igloo.
Yeah. The Igloo. Yeah.
Plastic coolers. And Yeti came out, I don't know when it was. And it was like, what do you mean you have a $300 cooler? Like, what are you talking about? But it was like, oh no, you can fill this bad boy with ice and it may not melt this year. Like,
6 days later,
it'll stay forever. And so I remember they launched that cooler, and seems like a risky move, and even talking about it now, but people adopted that immediately.
Yeah.
They went, okay, there's value here. And I think what happened was they got a lot of buy-in initially from like, they're big in the fishing community, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like offshore fishing, you got to haul a bunch of ice.
Yeah.
For when you catch your wahoo and you got to put it on the ice. And so I think they were kind of the early adopters there. But anyway, and so but then it became a huge, huge brand, and they have since, whenever that was, grown into now. Oh, look, here's my Yeti water. There you go. Look at that.
Yeah.
You've got your cup. I've got my water thing. But they have backpacks now. They have chairs. They have every type of cooler you could ever want.
But to your point, they've grown into like lifestyle brand,
an outdoor lifestyle brand, and they're not a cooler company anymore. And they are now an outdoor lifestyle.
Do they have clothing? They don't have clothing yet, do they?
They do have clothing.
Okay, wow.
Jason, my buddy, was fishing in a Yeti. He's got a Yeti fishing shirt.
Okay, there you go. See? So, okay, perfect.
And I think they have.
Pretty soon they'll be like LL Bean.
They've got full on retail storefronts as well.
Yeah. Well, there were a couple years there, man, where like they were sold out of everything everywhere.
Everything everywhere.
Yeah. It was like you couldn't get, like, it was insane. So
people who adopt Yeti as a brand they are loyalists.
Yeah,
absolutely. Spending a lot of money. I mean, the things are not cheap. Nothing to make is cheap.
No, I mean, that's a good loyalty play for sure. So
So
all right, along those lines, I'll keep with the loyalty thing. I was going to say Netflix is another company I thought that has, if you think about it, has truly evolved and then you could make an argument that has kind of revolutionized entertainment to a certain extent, right? So, I mean,
Mhm.
it was, we all are subscribers to Netflix now. We plop down on our couch. What are we going to watch? What are we going to stream? What are we going to do? Whatever. But Netflix, people might forget, didn't start as a streamer, right? It started as a mail subscription service, right? For DVDs for movies only, right? It was kind of I mean, they were completely reliant on the post office, as crazy as that sounds, right? It
Right.
was, hey, it's an online subscription, service to combat going to Blockbuster,
I
right?
was about to say, yeah, they were the David that conquered the Goliath right
Yeah.
out of the gate.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you recall, it was how many movies do you wanna have at a time, Rob? Because that's how we're going to price it. Do you want just
Yeah.
1 DVD at a time? Do you want
I want
3
5.
DVDs at a time?
I want
Or do you
5.
want 5? Yeah, exactly. And it's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, well, I can't just have 1 because then I'll have nothing to watch when I
Yeah.
mail it back and another one's mailed back to." So everyone had at least 3,
Yeah.
right, But it's insane to me that, like, oh, yeah, it started at, like, it didn't even exist as its own, like,
Much.
like, it was a mail order, movie rental house,
Well, and the
right?
beauty of it when it launched, and that's a good one. The beauty of it when it launched, was twofold. Number one, it was I don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah,
The catalog was
was every
good
movie.
and grew, and then it was also, I mean, you remember we're dating ourselves, but remember walking into the video store and it was like, oh, we only have 3 copies
Yeah,
of
yeah,
of Fast Times at Ridgemont
yeah,
High, and they're
they're
all
out.
checked
Like,
out.
you can't watch this
You
tonight
can't
because
watch
it's
it,
already been rented.
Now you gotta
Yeah,
pick something else, and it's a
yeah,
disaster. So that
yeah.
never happened with Netflix. You could always get whatever movie you wanted.
I had a weird behavior where every time I went into a Blockbuster, right, I would go by the counter where the movie returns had
Yeah,
gone
to
in
see if
first
what's come in.
to see what's come in on the off
Absolutely.
chance, yeah, okay, so we're speaking the same language.
Yeah,
On the off chance there was anything in there that I wanted to rent
yeah.
versus going into the store to then go snoop around and just have my,
Oh, there's a
you know
copy of Red Dawn that
yeah,
just came in. I'll take that one.
yeah, but they used to but Blockbuster, you'd be like, "Oh my god, we have 15 they would advertise in store like, "We have 20 copies of Terminator," or "We have 20," like that type of
Right,
thing, right?
right.
Um, and I wanna believe, I could be wrong on this, I wanna believe it was a cheaper membership than it was at Blockbuster at the time, right? Or it
Well,
was at least price commensurate,
and
right?
remember, there were no late fees.
No, they're like, yeah, yeah, hold the movie as long as you want.
No late fees. Keep it as long as
Yeah,
you want.
great
We're
call.
not gonna send you the next one until you send it
Yeah,
back, but
yeah.
I mean, the Blockbuster late fees were the worst.
Oh my
Absolutely
god,
the
I
worst.
know, I know. Hey, and be kind, rewind,
Be
okay?
kind, rewind. And
Yeah.
now, what was it in the news last week? I mean, is it Netflix that just offered,
Netflix wants to buy,
yeah,
Warner Brothers
Warner
Discovery.
Brothers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Netflix
Yeah.
buying Warner Brothers
Yeah, I mean,
from mail DVDs to like, now,
yeah,
would that deal go through? Probably
who
not.
knows?
But
Who knows?
um,
But yeah, I mean, it's a complete and total, like, Netflix is not even remotely the same company that it was when it
they're
first
a
started,
content creation company
Yeah.
now.
And
Running
let's not
distribution.
forget from a brand perspective, the little Quickster thing in the middle. Do you remember Quickster?
Oh yeah, they tried to change it.
Yeah, yeah, you remember the story of this or whatever like that?
I don't
So,
remember the story, but now
okay.
you mentioned, I remember they tried to change it and everybody freaked out.
The fog of memory was Netflix goes, they're only mail order DVDs,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And then they decide we're going to start streaming.
yeah,
Okay. And they wanted to split the businesses, right? So it was streaming is going to be called, Netflix. And then the mail order, DVD situation, right? We're going to rebrand and we're going to call Quickster. Okay.
yeah,
Quickster. And that was the first time they didn't have, because it was also the rise of social media at that time was starting to take hold,
yeah.
right? And it was, they didn't own the Quickster Facebook, name. They didn't own the Quickster Twitter name,
URL?
right? Right. And
Yeah.
it was some crazy burnout was at Quickster, right? So everybody's freaking out, but then they search and they're all finding some guy's personal Twitter account from, like, again, 20 years ago, right? And it's all crazy, crazy. And they were like, okay, stop. We
Eh,
can't now. They had done the logo, they had done everything. And then it was, okay, fine, forget it. They pivoted then to Netflix your way. You can have it you can have it one, 3 ways, right? You can do
Yeah.
just this, or both together, right? But it was, I want to say for like a couple weeks, it was kind of one of those like epic branding fails, like the new Gap logo, stuff like that. So
But doesn't that
yeah,
seem like that if it was some burnout's account, they should we would just paid it like,
I know.
here's $100,000.
It was a different time back then, man. It was a
But
different time,
yeah,
So, yeah, Netflix is one that I think, definitely has reinvented themselves, which is an
yeah. I mean,
interesting one.
still a distribution company,
Yeah.
but with a massive, massive content creation arm now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and
Um,
pretty soon, I mean, they're gonna buy all the libraries, and then it'll just be them will be the I mean, I wonder, like, is the business model truly to eliminate movie theaters in general? Like, are we just like, we wanna like, no one go to the movies, everyone stay home, you
I
know?
don't think it'll happen.
So
I don't think movie theaters will ever totally
I
go
think there'll
away.
always be a place for them for
Yeah,
sure, I
yeah,
mean, even with the megaplexes, you could say like like from the '90s, we got 21 theaters and da 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 da.
yeah.
That didn't totally kill the one room art houses, they
No,
still exist,
no.
that type of thing,
And there's,
so
I mean, of course, we think about it for blockbusters, but there's certain movies that
gotta see in
you
theaters.
cannot beat the movie theater experience, no matter
Totally.
how wonderful your home theater
Yeah,
system
yeah,
is with your
yeah,
LoveSac and your
yeah.
Harman Kardon things happening. It'll never be
I mean, I prefer watching movies on the back of an airplane in front of me with
just
screaming
right,
children
especially
in
yeah,
front.
especially when the
Yeah.
seat leans way back
Yeah,
over
yeah,
you.
that's
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah, yeah,
my
yeah,
preferred method of watching Oscar award-winning movies, so,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
alright, what you got?
Okay, I got another one.
I got 2, I got 1 and a half more because one of them kinda doesn't
I
count.
got one, and it started off as an exercise bike. How about that?
Yeah.
Peloton.
Peloton,
Yeah,
okay.
so Peloton came along and it was, "Oh, everybody get your Peloton bike.
Yeah,
Here we go, everybody." Um, and that has since grown into they are a full lifestyle
yeah,
fitness company where they were
yeah,
a product, a bike. Now it's now it's full. We got treadmills, we got bikes, we've got
yeah.
all kinds of online yoga classes,
Yeah,
and
I was about to say the
it's a
yoga,
whole
Pilates, the whole deal.
it's yoga, Pilates, it's the whole thing. And it started with, oh yeah, we have a handful of instructors, and now it's like, oh no, no, we have like a global
Yeah,
network of
yeah. And the instructors
fanatics.
became like celebrities to a certain extent,
Yeah,
you know?
totally, totally,
Would
totally.
you make the argument that COVID actually helped that company?
Look, 1,000% it helped
Okay.
that company.
I would too, I would too. The fact that we're all kind of at home and then looking for an outlet, and then it was this live
Well, no,
sort of
yeah, I mean, no
stream
one was going to the
environment.
gym at that
Yeah,
time, like,
yeah,
big
yeah,
sweaty gym where everyone's coughing and,
yeah, yeah,
huffing and breathing arguably harder than anywhere else. Yeah, I mean, everyone was like, "Yeah,
yeah,
I'm not
good
going
point,
there."
good point.
So, no, I think absolutely, and I think they
Yeah.
were also one of those companies, though, that because of that, they inflated so quickly, like, their sales went so crazy that then,
It's
uh
almost borderline unsustainable. You
yeah,
cannot
yeah,
continue that
yeah.
trajectory,
And
right?
then once COVID kinda died and it came back, then it was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, we
Well,
gotta kinda
they also had a blip. Rach is gonna listen to this and is gonna yell at me, but they had a blip when, um, the, Sarah Jessica Parker show, Sex and the City,
yeah,
when
yeah, yeah.
that came back around again, and then remember one of the characters was on a Peloton,
Yeah.
has, like, a
It
heart
was Mr.
attack.
was it Mr. Big?
Yeah, it's Mr. Big,
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
and dies getting off the thing, and I feel like there was, like, not were there lawsuits? I don't even remember. I feel like there was some type of little blurb about it, and it was like just bad. Call it bad
Yeah.
press. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
There was something there was something and they did a lot of great work for a while, and
yeah,
that came out of the mechanism. So shout out
I
to
love
them.
their logo. I love their brand. I mean, it's
It
super
was a
cool.
great brand. It was a
Yeah,
great brand building job. They did great.
yeah,
But then I think they got a little too big for their britches and everybody went, I'm not gonna ride
yeah,
my exercise bike in the basement anymore. I've been in my house
yeah.
for 2 years
2 years.
straight.
Yeah, exactly,
I mean, I know
exactly.
mine's collecting dust. I'll be honest with you.
Well, I'm
Uh,
with you on that one.
but my quick anecdote about Peloton, for anyone who cares, is I thought when I got my
Here, Rob.
bike, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna put on like Metallica and like heavy music
Yeah,
to um I tried that and it did work.
it doesn't work,
Not
dude. I'm
right.
exactly the same way. It doesn't work.
So the next thing you know, I'm listening to what's his name? The Cody,
Yeah,
instructor Cody.
Yeah.
I'm super flamboyant. I
Yeah.
got Britney Spears playing.
Yeah. It's
I got
awesome.
Backstreet. I'm Backstreet's Back All Right.
Yeah.
And I'll
Yeah.
never forget, like, because I used to have it in my room for a while, and my kids coming in and, like, peeking around the corner and
Like,
being like,
what is going on?
what is
Yeah.
going on in here?"
Yeah, I tried every one of those, like not everyone, but like a fair amount of like
Yeah.
hard rock, heavy metal, da-da,
Yeah.
and they even have kind of like a dude, like that's like, "All right,
Yeah. Let's
Anthrax," da-da,
rock. Let's
and I'm
go.
like, "No, dude,
Didn't
this
work.
isn't working
No.
for me. It's
No.
weird,
Nope.
like
I
I
needed
need
90s
something."
early
Yeah,
pop 90s music and Cody
yeah,
to get me through
yeah,
the rides.
100% agree,
Go
100%
figure.
agree. That's
Go
so
figure.
funny. Yeah, Peloton's a good one. All right, I got another one. It's another tech company. I'm gonna say it starts with an A. I'm gonna go Amazon.
Mm.
Amazon started as
It
we
was a
sell
bookstore.
books. We're a bookstore.
Yeah.
We are the online competitor to Barnes& and Noble,
Yeah.
right? Barnes& and Noble doesn't have your book and they have to order it because I mean, a retail brick and mortar can only store as many books as fit in the shelf, like
And you know
you
why
won't.
it was you know why they started with books?
Why?
Because Bezos was trying to think he knew he wanted to do an online retailer,
Yeah.
and it wasn't his love of books or anything like that. It
Okay.
was because the sheer volume and number of books that are in the world.
Okay.
He
There you go.
came up with something. He was like, "There are more books than arguably any other product
Yeah.
in the world."
It's a good point. It's a
And
good
so
point.
that's
Yeah.
specifically why he started with books.
Yeah. But they're a bookstore. They were a bookstore for years, right? And
Yeah.
then now they're everything.
Yeah. And not only everything, but
Everything.
everything in like an hour.
Yeah. Everything. Everything.
Like,
Yeah. So it's like we started it as a bookstore. I mean, it's like imagine if Barnes& and Noble started as a bookstore, and then it's like you can buy everything, at
yeah.
Barnes, like, literally anything, and that's not even to mention, like, the AWS and the whole backend
Oh,
component, which is where Amazon actually makes all of their
yeah,
money,
the cloud services, corporate, all
yeah,
that stuff.
the delivery stuff and all, I mean, that's great, but that's not the vast majority of their profits, or Whole Foods or anything like that. It's all the AWS and the back end scenarios is where they really, really make their money. But it's weird to think about, oh, I started as I sold these things. I sold whatever. I
Yeah.
sold pens, and then, oh, now
Yeah.
whatever you want anywhere in the world, like we sell it. I just think I find that bizarrely baffling, but like, do people even really remember those Amazon days, where they had the tabs at the top, and we were all on our Blueberry iMacs, our little 10-inch Blueberry
Right.
iMac. And, and like, that's how we looked at Amazon. It was like so strange,
Well,
So,
you could argue that, that was the first real unlocking of the power of the internet.
oh,
That
yeah,
was the
totally.
first unleashing of what how big and what the internet could do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you could make a case now for, well, now AI
Yeah.
is the second massive unlocking of what is about to happen.
I'm gonna go backwards. I'm gonna say that is the third, right? Because I
Okay.
think you had internet. You may disagree with me on this, and this is gonna. I'm taking a
Oh,
hard pivot.
controversial stand. Let's hear it.
Okay, we had Internet 1.0. The
Yeah.
transition from Internet 1.0 of CompuServe, of chat rooms and things like
Yeah.
that, right, to Internet 2.0 is Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson's video.
Mm.
That is single-handedly the minute that the internet changed from text-based everything to image-based and video service, right? And so I like to think of like that's the second phase of the internet, right? Where speeds got faster, it got out of chat
Yeah.
room. We're looking at actual video now. You can watch a video on the internet, which was like no one ever did that before,
Well,
right?
what a video it was. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
it was quite a movie.
I'm telling you, it's a controversial talk, but that is, that kind of broke 1.0 and ushered in a new
Yeah.
version of the internet, in my
Yeah.
opinion, right? So
Some would have called it the feel-good movie of the year at the
there is a
time.
Dr. Feelgood component to it for
At the
sure.
time.
So, but yeah, Amazon, it's a weird evolution,
Yeah.
like, oh, we sell one thing, to your point, we sell all of them, but now
We
we
sell all
sell
the
everything,
things.
so Amazon could be its own series of 10 podcasts in terms of how they, you know, price, how they manage their pricing and how that affects all of
Yeah.
the companies on the internet, not just Amazon, what I mean? Like that type of thing. I mean, they kind of set the price for everyone across the
We
entire
went from
internet. It's
selling
insane,
books to we're launching rockets into space now.
dude. What in the world? I
What
know.
are we
What a
doing? We're
crazy.
sending Katy Perry into space. I'm like, well, of course we are. Why would we not do that?
Yeah, yeah.
Why would we not do that?
William Shatner was on the Amazon one, I think. Blue
Shatner was
Origin, right?
brought to tears.
Yeah, Shatner was brought to tears. Yeah,
Shatner was
yeah.
brought to
It was
tears.
pretty awesome actually when he came back down and was like, I mean,
It
he
was
he
like,
did
there is
actually
nothing.
seem like a
Nick was
transformed
like,
man.
there is nothing. Like,
Yeah.
there is nothing.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, we're screwing this up. We need to turn this around and figure it
Yeah.
out. So,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
right, Amazon, you got another one?
The last one I have, is a local one.
Okay.
And I'm going to throw out Spanx.
Okay. I will
Spanx,
accept Spanx. Okay.
which started off, Sarah Blakely, who is an Atlanta, native, I believe, um, and went selling pantyhose. Let's call it what it is, like cut
Sure.
off pantyhose for slimming purposes.
Yeah.
Beat down all the doors and was incredibly resilient. It's a great story.
Yeah.
Entrepreneur, and has since grown Spanx into, I mean, she's a billionaire at this
Yeah.
point,
Sure.
but now they make everything from men's garments to women's
Yeah.
garments
Yeah.
to now I think they make those sneaks, which are the high heel comfortable shoes,
Yep.
things. So
I'm
that
actually
is one
very
that
familiar
started
with
off
those
as a
things.
very unique, um, individual product that has now grown into both I would say probably primarily still women, but men and women's,
Yeah.
um, uh,
But I think if you had asked somebody when they first started, like, hey, are you going to jump into the male side of
yeah,
fashion and target audience and things like that, people would have thought you're crazy. You know,
that's right. That's right.
um, but it makes sense. So yeah, no, that's a good one. That's a good one. So my last one, I don't. It's kind of lame. It's I didn't mean to cut you off. If you still have more
No,
about
no, no,
Spanx.
that's it.
Now, I was going to say, like, I would say Apple, only because there's a phone sitting literally right in front of me, right?
Yeah,
And it's like Apple's not really a computer company anymore. I mean, they're a phone company, you know?
they're a phone
Like,
company.
but
Yeah,
you could make that argument about a lot of the technology companies. Do you know what I mean? It's really, or are we really calling things the wrong names, right? Not necessarily an evolution of Apple, right? Or the tech industry in general, but like, this is technically the personal computer now.
right.
You know what I mean? Like we shouldn't actually be calling this a phone. Like, because we probably talk
No,
on this thing the least, right? This is the evolution of personal computing, right? It's not the laptops that we're looking at each other on right now, right? So I don't know. Is it really an evolution of a company? I mean, I don't know. It's kind of just the evolution
yeah, I
of
mean, and some
yeah.
might not call it a phone. Some might call it a conduit to the downfall of civilization,
Well, there is that aspect
mhm,
too, and I don't.
which I can make a solid case for,
Uh,
as
I
well. But
think again
we won't go
that's
down that rabbit hole right
that's
now.
another podcast,
That's
which
just another
I
podcast.
don't disagree with you on. You know what I
Mm,
mean? We managed to not really talk about social media, I think, a little bit on this one. Oh no, I did with Quickster. Uh, but yeah, that's a whole nother
it's a
thing. But
whole,
it's
but
it's
yes, they are. They have grown into quite the behemoth from
yeah,
the first,
yeah,
Apple
yeah.
II
You
or
can
Apple.
make an argument that the phone is the worst part of the phone.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like actually talking on this thing is the least functional aspect. But I also recognize there's the carrier involved in that aspect,
yes,
right? I mean,
yes.
so Apple, for example, or Nokia, or T-Mobile or whomever, or not T-Mobile, but the manufacturers of the phones are tied to the Verizons.
They're only as good as the carrier.
Yeah. So yeah, it's an interesting thought. It's an interesting, like, hey, companies that started as one thing, and we kind of focused on newer companies. I'm sure we could dig back into like why Shell Oil is called Shell Oil, all that kind of weird stuff. That's just ancient news. But yeah, it's kind of an interesting topic. So
Yep. Congrats to all those companies. They've
yeah,
done well,
making all the billions.
making
We're
all
right
the
behind them,
billions.
Rob. Our billions are they coming?
The billions, the comfy couches,
Yeah.
and, the women's undergarments. I mean, what else do you need? You know?
What a blender of topics today.
That's right. All right. Well,
All
that
right.
kind of brings us to an end here. Don, where can the people find us?
People can find us at mocktheagency.com, and then
They
link to
can.
all of those wonderful social media channels, so you can doom scroll to your heart's content.
That's
But
right.
yeah,
That's right.
drop us a note. Let us know what some of your favorite brands are that have evolved, over the years, things like that. Right.
All right. We'll catch up with you next
All right.
week.
All right. Deuces.